Whether you want to reset, recommit, or transform your relationship with alcohol for good, dry January is one of the most popular times in the year to take a break from alcohol. Dry January has been around for quite a number of years. It actually started as a public health campaign for the UK. It started as a public health campaign to help raise awareness for cancer and other kind of things that happen when alcohol is too much of a presence in our lives, and kind of evolved into this mainstream trend. In fact, people from London will say that most people do dry January over in the UK. And it's kind of trickled into the United States as well. In fact, the popularity has been gaining so much that it used to be just a few thousand people that did it, a few 100,000 people that did it, to a few million people did it. And last year's statistics was actually 1 out of 5 Americans did dry January. So, what an incredible time of year to really reflect and reevaluate the role of alcohol in your life by taking a month-long break. So, next week, I'm actually hosting a free challenge in this group called the Dry January Challenge. So if you haven't yet signed up, make sure you do, because even though you're in this group, you might not be getting the emails, the homework, the giveaways. We'll be giving away lots of alcohol-free drinks and all the fun stuff that comes along with it. So be sure to sign up. I'll include the link below. It's basically dryjanuary.euphoricaf.com if you haven't signed up yet. But in preparation of our challenge next week, I wanted to come in live today and just give you guys some tools that you can use when you're taking a break from alcohol. Obviously, that applies really well for dry January, but you know what? It doesn't matter what month it is. You know what I mean? If you're not drinking, these are the tools you need in your life so that you don't feel deprived, left out, slip, or have any of these kind of issues. These are the tools that you need anytime you're being alcohol free. Because if you think about it, not only is drinking a really ingrained habit in our lives, okay? So when you think about how many times you've drank in your life, it's not like once or twice here and there, right? We've drank hundreds, if not thousands of times in our lives over and over and over again. It becomes a really ingrained habit into our neural pathways. And so you're going to need some tools to kind of unlock that neural pathway from your brain. And at the same time, it's not just a habit that gets repeated over and over and over in our lives. We also have this culture, this society that literally glamorizes alcohol. We have this society that makes us think that if we don't drink, there's something wrong with us, or we're boring, or we have a problem. We live in a society where we're 18 years old, or 21, or 17, or 13, or whatever age it is, and we start drinking alcohol way before our brains even fully formed. We are conditioned into this habit. And if you go anywhere past 5 p.m., if it's a social event, alcohol will always be there, right? It is available when we socialize, when we celebrate, when we commiserate. It is literally locked into our society as this very big tradition, this very big conventional norm. And so when you want to buck that tradition, when you want to do things a little differently, you have to really work on changing the mindset that you grew up in, the mindset that made you believe that alcohol was a necessary part of your life, or a fun part of your life, or a relaxing part of your life. And so really working on the mindset can be very, very helpful to you. You know, right now it's really funny, but The Matrix 4, or whatever you call it, is out in theaters. So The Matrix 4 is out, and everyone's kind of rewatching those old movies. But if you remember the idea, or if you've never heard of it, basically, there's this reality that everyone thinks is real, right? And it's a computer program. It's not real. The humans are actually like getting sucked in these pods and this energy thing. But they think it's real. They think it's this real reality. And the thing is that no matter where we are in time and place, we grow up with these human constructs. We grow up with these norms. We grow up with these norms that literally just 20, 30, 40, 50 years into the future we're going to look back and be like, what? I mean, just think about how popular smoking cigarettes used to be. Just think about how, like, every leading lady in Hollywood would be smoking cigarettes in movies. And think about, like, being on a plane, being on the little tin capsule in the sky, and people were smoking cigarettes. Like, it's crazy now when we look back at it. But we are all living in a function of that society, of that glamorization. And so it takes some tools to actually unplug from that matrix, right? Because you want to be free. You don't want to be, driven by these desires or these societal norms that are not serving you. You want the best tools possible. So whether you're doing dry January for the very first time ever, committing to 31 days without alcohol, whether you want to recommit, maybe you've done a break before and you want to do it again this January, Or maybe you want to completely just transform your relationship with alcohol for good. You're sick and tired of feeling sick and tired and you want it out of your life. It doesn't matter your motive or your reason. There's so many reasons why we should take breaks from alcohol. It's the best thing we could do for our health. It makes our skin look younger. We get more energy. We sleep better. We become more present with our loved ones. There's literally the benefits could be written in a book, which I have done. It's called Euphoric, Ditch Alcohol and Gain a Happier, More Confident You. And it literally outlines every single benefit that I've found in going alcohol free. But let's get to the tools so that you are ready for next week. So this Friday is New Year's Eve, Saturday is New Year's Day. And so if you're looking to get started, I want to make sure you have some tangible tools that you can use when you're taking a break from alcohol. And why do I keep saying break from alcohol? Why don't I say quit alcohol? I actually think a break from alcohol is the smartest way to go about it, even if you want to quit. Because quitting really kind of scares our brain away from trying it because it's just so locked into the foreverness and it's just such a big decision. So by saying it's just a break from alcohol and you give yourself a time scale on that, it really makes it a lot easier for your brain, your habits, and your mental pathways to follow. So these are the tangible tools you want to get for yourself so that you actually have these things available for you coming this January or whenever you are alcohol free. Okay? So first tool that you're going to need is a tracker. Now a tracker is something where you actually mark off to yourself the days that you don't drink. Now there's so many different creative ways to do this. You could get an old-fashioned calendar. You could get a notepad, like I use notepads a lot in my life, and you could just write yourself out a calendar on the notepad or, go day 1, check, get day 2, check. Or you can also get an app. So one of my favorite apps is called Dry January, and it has little teacups that every single day you say you don't drink, you get a little teacup, right? So it's super cute. But basically what a tracker does is it helps you want to get gold stars. Like when we were kids, when we were younger, we used to get like gold stars, good grades, and we wanted to show that off as a pride point of achievement. And scientists have actually studied this. When we log and track things into a tracker, it actually releases a hit of dopamine in our brain. And alcohol does that too, right? We release dopamine when we drink, and then it crashes down really low after that. But the thing is you can almost replace that dopamine hit that you were expecting to get from alcohol with tracking. So when you get a tracker, you get to mark off all these days of progress, and it starts to feel really good. You go day 1, check, day 2, check, day 3, check, and it starts to feel really, really like cool to see all that progress lined up. You get to congratulate yourself on every day that you go. One tip I have for you, though, is not to wait till the end of the day to mark your progress. I suggest you actually do it at the very beginning of the day in the morning. So if you think about it, when you wake up in the morning, you have more resolve, right? You're more committed to something than you are any other time of day. You are more committed, let's say, to a diet or to not drinking in the morning than you are at 5 p.m. So give yourself a check mark in the morning that you didn't drink. And then what ends up happening is when temptation comes further along in the day, you're not going to want to erase that progress. You're going to be like, well, I already told my brain today we're not drinking, and I already marked off and I already gave myself the gold star. If I drink, I'm going to have to erase that progress. It's not going to feel good. So that's the tip I use. I still use it to this day with other things in my life that I'm trying to change. Give yourself a check mark that day that you didn't drink in the morning. And when you order Euphoric, Ditch Alcohol, again, a happier, more confident you'll get access to a bunch of goodies that come with the book. And it comes with a Euphoric calendar that you can also use to mark your progress. So tool number 1, a tracker. Tool number 2, you want to get yourself some alcohol-free drinks. So, it's like I said, drinking is a habit that you've done multiple times over the years, thousands of times probably, right? It's not just something you've done once or twice. It is firmly ingrained as a habit in your brain. It is firmly ingrained as a habit when you socialize, when you want to relax, whatever your time of drinking is. And so sometimes it's not so easy to just completely disrupt that habit. Habit experts actually say that we shouldn't try to just completely cold turkey on our habits. We should replace our habits, right? So if you can replace the habit of drinking, it's going to be a lot easier for you than just trying to white knuckle your way through. So what's the easiest way you can replace the habit? You can still pour a beautiful drink in a glass and enjoy it. Just make it an alcohol-free drink, right? So these days there are literally thousands of alcohol-free drinks on the market. Thousands, right? There are so many different incredible concoctions out there. There's alcohol-free beer. There's alcohol-free wine. There's alcohol-free spirits. There's new concoctions that don't even taste like alcohol, like different soft cocktails. There's all these cool little aperitifs now. And there's just a billion health tonics and drinks out there that have nothing to do with the taste of alcohol. like coconut water or spindrift or a cool like matcha elixir, you know? I had a client once who wrote down all the drinks that she loves to drink that weren't alcohol, and she was actually surprised that she had like 20 things on her list. You know, she loved drinking lattes, and she loved drinking teas, and she loved drinking smoothies, and she loved drinking different juices, and she loved drinking different alcohol-free drinks, right? So you want to get a drink you love this season. You definitely want to do that. That is like the number one homework I give you. Go to the store and find a bunch of drinks that you can try. Now, again, they don't have to even be alcohol-free drinks, right? There's kombuchas, there's coconut waters. One of my favorite drinks is called Spindrift in the United States. It's basically sparkling water mixed with a little bit of fruit puree. And it's really low calorie, and it has like a little hit of flavor, but it's not like sweet like a juice or anything. I love it, right? That's just like a thing that you get at the store near the water section, right? It's not necessarily an alcohol-free drink. But there's so many different options available there today. So like there's no excuse. You have to find a drink you love and experiment until you do. Keep trying different things until you really find something you love. So that's the number one tool, second tool you need to go alcohol free this January or any time of the year. The third thing you want is recognize that most of the time when we drink at home, it's because we want stress relief. Recognize that when you're at home, say you come home from a hard day at work, or you're busy taking care of the kids all day, whatever is going on, most of us are very on during the day. We're very on, we're productive, we're working on a ton of things, and then we just want to let go by the end of the day, right? So most of the drinking that you do inside of your house is done out of a need for stress relief. You want to relax, you want permission to just let go and turn off. So know that in advance. When you know that in advance, you can now create new ideas to meet that same need. New ideas to have that same exact stress relief that you're looking for. That actually works because as you'll learn more, alcohol actually releases stress hormones in your body. It actually releases cortisol, adrenaline, and dynorphin. So when you drink, you're not relieving stress, you're actually giving your body more stress to handle. So it's actually kind of like a paradox. It doesn't really work. Alcohol doesn't actually relax the human body, not physiologically. So you want to start thinking of what are ways I can get some stress relief? What are some tools that I can use? So one, like I said, you can always just try using a different drink. You can just use like tea or an alcohol-free beverage, and you can still decompress over that beverage. You can have a nice little ritual and sit in your patio or your couch and have the beverage, and still you'll totally get the placebo effect. I promise you. Just try it. But there's all these other healthy ideas you could try for stress relief. You could try something called breath work. You know, a lot of theories say that most of the reason why we have so much stress is because we're not getting enough oxygen into our bodies and we're not breathing deeply enough. Breathing deeply changes the state of our brain as well as the state of our gut and our like vagus nerve. And it's all really connected. The more that we breathe, actually, the more that we release serotonin in our body as well. So breathwork can be a really incredible tool for you to use to start to get some stress relief. So breathwork, you know, you can Google it on YouTube or find some videos where you're just following along and you're deeply breathing for a given period of time. Likewise, something like meditation is really cool too. Or yin yoga. Yin yoga is a form of yoga where you're just stretching. Now, I have a practice every single day for most days, if I remember, where I stretch at the end of the day. A lot of times I'll be downstairs with my husband, it's after dinner, maybe the TV's on, but I'm sitting there doing these different stretches, and the stress relief I get from that is incredible. Because, you know, I'm working all day, I'm typing, there's stress, there's all these things I need to do, and I do carry that stress with myself in my shoulders and my neck. And so stretching at the end of the day for me is one of my favorite ways to do stress relief. Because not only is it relieving those muscles and helping you, you know, like really get in touch with your body, it actually is releasing the stress. It is actually helping you release different hormones in your body that can help calm you down. So there's so many different things you could do for stress relief, right? There's stretching, there's walking, there's exercise, there's journaling, there's taking a bath, there's all these different things. So come up with some ideas that you'll have to replace the habit. Okay, the fourth tool you're going to need when you go alcohol free, this one's really important. You need a journal. Get yourself a journal. So when you drink, you numb your emotions. You numb your thoughts, your emotions, and if you keep drinking, it turns into literally a fog and then a blackout. But even subtly, even just a few drinks, alcohol numbs your emotions. So the first thing that's going to happen when you take a break from alcohol is you're going to start to feel those emotions. And I don't want you to feel them in your head and feel like all overwhelmed with just so many different thoughts and feelings that you haven't been used to. You need to process them out. You need to actually write them down. And you need to start writing and reflecting on your relationship with alcohol and how you want to start engaging in new activities and new fun. A journal is one of the best ways that you can get to know yourself, the best ways that you can actually put some distance between you and your thoughts and recognize that sometimes not all your thoughts are true. And it also helps you really express your feelings. You know, when you feel angry or stressed or frustrated or disappointed, those aren't things that you should keep locked up inside. When you express them, you heal them, you process them, and then you're able to let them go. And you know, they say that studies have proven that we're able to access deeper parts of our subconscious when we write things down versus just merely thinking them in your head. So a journaling practice can be such a beautiful tool for you to actually get to know yourself better. You can journal at night, you can journal in the morning. And another tidbit for you too is that you can also have a gratitude journaling practice. So before you start journaling about anything else, you can just look at the day before and mention 5 things that you're grateful for. And now this is really great to do when you're taking a break from alcohol, because if you wanted to, you could focus on everything you think you're missing, right? If you wanted to, you could focus on the relaxation you think you're missing or whatever. You know, I don't really believe those things anymore. But when you take a journal and you actually write down all the things you're grateful for, it primes you to look out for the things you're grateful for, and more things will come to you. Oh my God, I slept so well last night. Wow, I haven't slept that well in a long time. I have a little bit more energy today than I usually have. You know what? I feel really proud of myself for not drinking last night. I was able to rest my head on my pillow and I woke up feeling refreshed. Write all these things down, okay? So that's really important. All right, the 5th thing that you're gonna need when you go alcohol free and do dry January, another tool that you need is books and or podcasts, depending on your learning style. So books will change your life, especially about this topic. And if you really want to change your mindset, not just change the habit, not just remove something from your life, but actually remove the internal desire that you have for it, the beliefs you have for it. If you want to completely mentally detach the significance you place on alcohol, you're going to need books to help you do it, because you're going to have to learn about other different ways of looking at alcohol and other worldviews to help you do that. So I highly, highly recommend my new book, Euphoric, Ditch Alcohol and Gain a Happier, More Confident You. You can get this book today. You pre-order it today and it'll be on your doorstep, I'm guessing January 4th. And it's available in all bookstores on January 4th. So it's perfect timing for dry January. But this book will not only help you change your mindset around alcohol and how you think of it, it will help you then give you a plan to follow for your 8 weeks or your month off alcohol, so that you're, any situation that comes up, whether it's socializing or talking about it or all these different things that could come up for you, you actually have a plan to go to. You have some material that will change your mindset around alcohol. And likewise, if you rather would listen, it is available in audio, but podcasts can be a really great idea for you too. So Euphoric, the podcast, has incredible guests and different topics every single week, really saying and showing how amazing alcohol-free lifestyle is, and all these cool different modalities you can try as you're exploring living the alcohol-free lifestyle. So be sure to get some books. You don't want to do this alone, and reading a book can really help you feel like not only that you have a plan and you have all this guidance, but that you're not alone, that this is something a lot of people go through and you're just learning more about it. I think sometimes we're scared about learning about something, and it's like the more you know, the more you feel confident that you are able to make changes, if that makes sense. The more you know, the more confidence you feel. So get yourself the book. All right, the 6th tool you're going to need for dry January is a community. So being here, part of the Euphoric alcohol-free community, is a perfect place that you have all of these thousands of people. We're up to now 3,000 different people who will help you, who will come in to chime in on questions or challenges you might have, and also make you feel like you're not doing this alone, right? It might feel like in the rest of the world you're the only one who's taking a break from alcohol, but it's not true. There are millions and millions of people all over the planet, and you'll find some of the most incredible soul seekers, some of the most inspiring women, some of the most goal-getters, ambitious people ever in this group. So be sure to use this community, and if you're watching this video later on YouTube or somewhere else, be sure to join Euphoric Alcohol Free, the free community on Facebook. It is a private group where nobody will see what you're saying, and you can ask questions or you can share things, and you can really kind of even mark your progress and celebrate yourself in this group. So make sure you get a community. And the 7th tool you need for a really great dry January is a creative project. So this kind of comes later down in the tools. I would focus on the other tools first. But the thing that happens when you take a break from alcohol is you start to free up a lot of time. a lot of time, and not just time, but also mental energy. Because all of the time that you spent before on drinking, on thinking about alcohol, on ruminating about it, about recriminating yourself, about feeling guilt, feeling shame, debating, should I, shouldn't I, all that gets washed away, right? And now you have these empty Friday nights or Saturday nights and all this mental potential, this mental buzz that's not getting clouded with the drink. And so you're going to want to find a creative project that you can do. Now, I work with clients who actually have a seed of a dream, that maybe they want to write a book, or maybe they want to launch a business, or maybe they want to just get back into art. They just want to start taking more photographs or pottery or painting or drawing. But it behooves you to find something, and you can explore and experiment with this, that will actually stir up some creativity in your life and that you can start doing as a pastime. You could even start, I've had so many women in this community start with something like yarn or weaving or macrame. It could be something tactile with your hands. Literally, being creative isn't necessarily just getting a paintbrush and painting something or writing something. It's anytime you create something that didn't exist before. So it could be baking for you, or it could be cooking for you. It could be so many different things. But find a creative project that you're going to want to spend some time on, that you can really express your creativity and find ways to maximize your potential and your brain power, because it's not all going to alcohol anymore. So those are the 7 tools I highly recommend you get. Most of them are actual, tangible, physical tools that you want to get for Dry January. Whether you're doing Dry January for the first time ever, you're recommitting, or you're already alcohol free, but you never thought to yourself to get all these tools and to actually digest it and process it. So I'm just going to repeat them one more time. Your first tool is a tracker, like a calendar or an app. Your second tool is alcohol-free beverages that you want to replace the habit with. Your third tool is some form of stress relief, so that you actually find a new way to decompress at the end of the day. I love stretching right now. The fourth thing is a journal. You're going to want to process your emotions and feelings, and you're going to want to express your gratitude for everything you're experiencing. The fifth thing are books and podcasts. Like I said, my book is available January 4th. You can pre-order it today and it'll be on your doorstep. If you order it through Amazon literally on January 4th, it's going to be the best primer for you to change your mindset around alcohol. And also you can listen to podcasts at the same time. Get new information in your ears and in your brain. The sixth tool you need is a community. So you're already here in a Euphoric alcohol-free community. And if you're watching this somewhere else, be sure to join it, so that you have literally thousands of women who are here to cheer you on, rally you, answer questions, all the beautiful things. And the seventh thing you're going to want is a creative project, so that you actually use your newfound mental time and energy on something that lifts you up. So those are the tools I'd highly recommend for you. And like I mentioned at the beginning of this live, next week we're doing the Dry January challenge in this group. So if you're in this group, that's where it's going to be held. But if you haven't formally signed up yet, you're not going to get the homework, you're not going to get the emails, and you're not going to be entered into the giveaways. So you want to be sure that you formally sign up at dryjanuary.euphoricaf.com. I'll put that link below. And that way you're going to be part of this really cool 3-day challenge. We're going to learn all about how the best way to take a break from alcohol, a lot of the science about taking a break, a lot of the different habit and tools and mindset things that you'll need. And these tools will really, really help you as you go along, so that when you have all of these tools at your disposal, you feel like you're supported. You feel like you can do this. You feel more confident in yourself. So be sure to get those tools and join me next week for Dry January challenge. And like I said, the Euphoric comes out literally next Tuesday. And not only, do I fundamentally believe that this book will change your life, I really think it's the best primer that you could get for this next month. Whenever you're thinking of changing your relationship with alcohol, or even just wanting to make sense of it, even just wanting to learn more about it and how we've been all conditioned to drink. It's really, I think, like my life's opus is in this book. And you can pre-order it on Amazon. If you do so, you'll get your book ASAP on January 4th. If you wait till it comes out, I don't know when it will arrive. So it's really smart and best to get it today. That way it's literally on your doorstep on January 4th, and you can get started right away for Dry January and just the new year with this new mindset. So thank you so much for joining the live today. Be sure to get your 7 tools that you'll need for a really incredible dry month. And I will see you next week for the Dry January challenge. If you haven't, again, formally signed up, it's at dryjanuary.euphoricaf.com. And if you want to pre-order the book, you can get that at euphoricbook.com, www.euphoricbook.com. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next week.